welcome to another Weekly Bakes. Today we are going to make the delicious hot chocolate fondant. I'm going to go through the ingredients with you now so you can see how simple it actually is to make. So, in hot chocolate fondant we have got butter, flour, eggs, sugar and chocolate. That is it. Today we are going to add a little bit of orange to it just to give it a little bit more of a kick, a little bit more of a flavour, but people love just without the orange, just a nice chocolate fondant, so add stuff to it, be adventurous. Once again, it's a versatile recipe. Okay, so first what we are going to do is we're going to weigh the chocolate and the butter together and we're going to melt that. So we need 100 grams of butter. I'm just going to move this down. Chocolate, sorry. 100 grams of chocolate. So I'm just going to chop this chocolate into smaller bits just so it's going to melt a little bit quicker. And I'm just going to weigh it as I chop it. So we're looking for 100 grams. Now this is a dark chocolate, it's actually 70% chocolate, so you want a quite high percentage chocolate for the chocolate fondant. You don't want to be using milk chocolate, you don't want to be using white chocolate really. You want to be using a nice dark chocolate. So as you can see, I'm chopping this chocolate. Sometimes it'll come already in pellets, in the smaller bits, and that's absolutely fine. Just pop that straight in, so you can skip this little bit here. I only have the blocks of chocolate at the minute, so this is what I am using. You have 100 grams there. In. Scrape that little bit of chocolate. So we're going with the same amount of butter with the chocolate. I'm using salted butter this time. So just into these smallish little slices of butter. There we go. So what we're going to do with this, we're going to melt it over something called a bain-marie. Now a bain-marie is simply going to be this pan with a little bit of water in here and a bowl which is going to go on the top. The idea of this is the steam is going to actually melt it, so you don't want the water to be touching the bowl. So that's just going to go on there on a medium heat. That's going to go there and that's going to slowly melt with the help of the spatula. So we can turn that up a little bit. Okay. So with the rest we need 2 whole eggs, 15 grams of egg yolk and 125 grams of sugar. So what we're going to do is we are going to weigh the eggs. So we're going to have 2 eggs here. So we're just going to crack that straight in. 1. 2 eggs. And with the 3rd egg, I'm just going to crack it there, and I'm going to get a spoon, and we're just going to use the whole egg. This is going to be probably around 18 grams for this. So I'm just going to carefully just take the yolk out and pop that in. So we don't want to get any of the white with this, okay? So there we go, we've just got the yolk, that's going to go in. So in that, we're going to weigh the 125 grams of sugar. We are going to whisk. Okay. So I'm just going to mix all of that in. As soon as it's all mixed in, like this, you can just leave it for a second and give your chocolate and butter a mix. You don't just want to leave the sugar on the eggs. That's going to cause a reaction where it's actually going to start to cook the eggs, so it's going to burn the eggs, and you don't want that. So if you mix it, it's completely fine. I'm just going to turn this down a little bit because it just wants to be simmering water under there. Okay, so you're going to mix this until it's slightly turned colour, which you're going to see. So this is where you need to multitask, because you want to mix this and you want to mix your eggs as well. This can actually turn off and move aside, and by the time this is all mixed up, the eggs and sugar, this will be nicely melted. Okay, so as you can see already, it's turned colour, so it's got lighter in colour because that's all of the air that we're beating into it now. So we're just going to keep doing that. Lighter again. So regarding recipes, this is a really, really simple, straightforward recipe, and it really rewards at the end. Can you see how lighter that has got? We are almost there. The arm starts to ache a little bit. Okay, so now, like I said, I'm just going to zest a little bit of orange into that. So I'm just going to zest. Put it in. So you want fine zest. If you can see how fine that zest is, you're not going to taste this through it. It's not going to be a big chunk of orange zest. Just going to go in there. So I'd say a whole orange or half orange for this recipe, depending on how large your oranges are. These are quite old oranges, so it's nice to use them up, and they're quite small as well. Look at that. This still needs a little bit of melting. Okay, so let me get rid of these little bits and weigh the flour. So I've got a sieve, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the sieve on there, save a little bit of time, and I'm just going to weigh the flour. It's not that much flour, it's 100 grams of flour, so it's not that much. And as you can see, it just weighs into that. Take a little bit out. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pat that through like that. So the flour's there. Very important step to weigh the flour. You don't want any lumps. If you have lumps, you're going to taste that in your fondant. Your fondant's going to melt and there's going to be a white flour lump. So very important to sift the flour. So you see the different texture. All the sugar has actually dissolved in this now, so it's a smooth mixture, and that is ready to go. So I'm going to get rid of the whisk. I'm going to get rid of the water. I'm going to get rid of the board. And I've got my 3 bowls here that I'm going to use. Okay. So look how nicely melted, silky all this mixture is. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a little bit of the chocolate mixture to the eggs before I fold it back in to the chocolate mixture. So I've literally just done 3 ladlefuls, and you can see how I'm gonna add that, a little bit of that to this chocolate mixture now, and you can see it's going to get a little bit thicker, and when it's like that, we're going to add it to this. So we're going to just pour it all straight in. We're going to scrape it so there's none left in the bowl. We don't want to waste any of that. And then we're just going to mix that in. Look at that. So again, scraping it. So the smell on this already, I can smell the orange and I can smell the chocolate. Okay, brilliant. We're going to add the flour in 3 bits. So we're going to imagine to divide this into 3 and we're going to pour it directly into the middle like this. If you don't feel comfortable doing it with a Maurice, you can do it with a whisk, but you're going to do it quite slowly. So I'm just going to start in the middle and I'm going to fold it, okay? So I'm just going to fold it in. So I'm scraping around the edge, like that. That's one bit. The second bit. So, again, just going to start by folding it. And then you can move a little bit faster. And mix it, okay? There we go. So you want it completely smooth, okay? Before you start adding the next bit of flour. So this is actually the last bit of flour, so that can just go in like that. Fold it in. So around the edge, down the middle. And then as soon as it's almost done, that's when you can start to mix it, okay? So there's going to be 0 lumps. Look at that. Chocolate fondant, nearly done. So you can see how smooth in texture it is. There's no lumps. There's going to be no little chunks of surprise flour after this is baked. So I've got these little ramekins here, what I'm going to use. You can use anything which is going to bake. Which can go in the oven and bake. So, it's easier to fill your moulds up at this stage. When you leave it, it will get a little bit harder, so you need to fill it at this stage. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fill these and I'm going to weigh them because I want them all to be even. So I'm going to weigh them at 100 grams. Just below the top. Left over. So this recipe will make 5 chocolate fondants. I'm going to do 3. Okay. A little bit on the scale. Right. So at this stage, what you want to do is you want to sit them in the fridge. So you want to sit them in the fridge for about an hour. Okay. After that hour, you're going to bring them out. You're going to preheat your oven at 180 degrees and you're going to cook them for 9 minutes. Done. Finished. So 1 hour chill, 9 minutes in the oven, 180 degrees. Finished. Serve with ice cream or whatever you fancy. Thank you very much. Bye.